Let's make some sheet pan pancakes. These sheet pan pancakes are light and fluffy with a hint of cinnamon, and you can add any mix-ins or toppings you like. You know how when you're making pancakes, it feels like it takes forever, you have to cook one at a time, you have to keep them warm in the oven, because if you don't, by the time you get to the last one, the first one is ice cold. It's just a whole ordeal to make pancakes. But I love pancakes. That's why today I'm sharing this super easy, super delicious recipe for vegan sheet pan pancakes. Instead of making these one at a time, you spread all the pancake batter out onto a lined baking sheet, then sprinkle on whatever mix-ins you want and bake it. Then you can just slice it up and serve, and everybody gets hot pancakes all at the same time. If you like this recipe, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. The first thing you want to do when you're making these pancakes is preheat the oven and then measure out your ingredients. When you're measuring the flour, you don't want to scoop the flour out of your container. Instead, you want to spoon the flour into your measuring cup and then use either a butter knife or the handle of your spoon to flatten out the top. Also measure out your sugar, baking powder, cinnamon, and salt. Then mix some non-dairy milk with apple cider vinegar and set that aside to curdle. That's your vegan buttermilk. The only other things you need are some vanilla extract and whatever mix-ins you're using. I'm making my pancake with 3 zones: a chocolate chip zone, a mixed berry zone, and a white chocolate birthday cake zone. You can also make these plain, but my family loves pancakes with stuff in them. So let's make that batter. Add your flour, sugar, baking powder, cinnamon, and salt to a large bowl and whisk that together until it's evenly combined. You don't want to overmix, but you also don't want to undermix, otherwise you're gonna have like salty spots in your pancakes and you don't want that. Once that's mixed together, add your vegan buttermilk and your vanilla extract and mix again until you get a lumpy batter. It should be pourable, but some lumps are totally fine. Again, you don't want to overmix because then your pancakes will come out too tough. Now line a baking sheet with parchment paper. You can do fancy folding methods to get the parchment paper into the baking sheet, but I like to use this crinkle method. Easy peasy. Pour your batter onto the baking sheet and then use the back of a spoon, or you can use a spatula to just spread it out. You're going to end up with a very thin layer of batter because we're making pancakes, not cake. Now it's mix-ins time. If you're not doing mix-ins, you can pop this in the oven now. So I'm sprinkling on some chocolate chips, some frozen mixed berries, and some white chocolate chips and rainbow sprinkles. When you're adding something wet like berries, especially frozen ones, make sure that you space them out on your pancake, because if you have big clumps, it's gonna make the pancakes really fall aparty. You wanna make sure there's batter in between your berries, if that makes sense. Now pop that into the oven to bake. Your sheet pan pancakes are ready when they're a little browned around the edges, but they're not gonna be browned on top. Let them cool in the baking pan for a couple of minutes, and then slide them off. Flatten out the parchment paper off of the edges, and then you can use a butter knife to cut these, but I prefer using a pizza cutter because it just makes it so easy. Then you're ready to serve. I like to go classic with a little vegan butter and maple syrup, but you can also add other toppings like powdered sugar if that's your jam. These pancakes are just so easy to make with just a few ingredients. They also keep for up to 5 days in the refrigerator, and they also freeze like a dream. To freeze them, I just get a freezer-safe plastic container and stack the pancakes up and pop them right in. And then you can either microwave them or put them in the toaster to warm them up. I hope that this video answered all of your questions about how to make these vegan sheet pan pancakes. If you have any questions I didn't address, feel free to drop a comment. I am always happy to help. And don't forget to rate and subscribe. Happy cooking!